Also, a really warm welcome from my side. My name is Juergen Hase. I want to explain a little bit more on my name. I believe now first I'm in front of the lunch. It's really hard. You should know what does it mean, Hase. Hase is the English word, is a German word for rabbit. So that means when you're going home, at home now, you can explain to the people the first time in their life you have seen a rabbit on stage. So, let's start. Yes, my name is Juergen Hase. I've worked roundabout in the IoT space now the last 10 years. Worked for Deutsche Telekom, for Reliance Group, that means also in the European space, in the US space for Deutsche Telekom, and the last 2 years in the Middle East and also North Africa and Asia. That means a lot of things I've learned. Now I'm here, start the beginning of July, working for Reliance as CEO for the IoT business. So IoT, the Internet of Things, I will combine it a little bit with the analytic part. If you're talking about the IoT, we are talking about hypes. And this slide I like because you remember 2 years from now, spam will be solved. This statement Bill Gates has made in 2004. Many of these predictions you have seen, and now we are coming with the Internet of Things, with the next steps, and we're talking about 50 billion connected devices. Is this a hype? Is it a joke? Will it be happen? I believe this is the question. I will try to give you an answer on this. What does it mean if you're talking about 50 billion connected devices in 5 years? Could be 50 billion, could be 20 billion. Let's talk about 50 billion. That means 10 billion connected devices per year. And that means if you're looking to the Internet of Things compared to other things, each minute we are sitting here, we are talking, we will connect round about 20,000 devices per minute, each minute around the world. And it will be happening. And if you're thinking later on about the analytic part, all these points are data points. That means we are collecting data at the beginning, and people forgetting all these things. They're talking about the analytic and all this part, but first you have to collect the data. Without collecting data, you never will get the data. You cannot start the analytics, the big data things in others. 20,000 devices per minute will be connected around the world. And I'm sure it will be happening. Why? Because if you have a look, there are many indicators in the market, which is what is going on, what's not going on. For me, a strong indicator are the developers. There were also many predictions regarding how many developers are starting to develop IoT services, and analytics is a part of this for this space. And it was around about, I believe in 2014, they talked about 4.5 million will be in 2020. Now we have 2016, we have already reached the target of 5 million developers worldwide, around the world, who are doing things with IoT, who are implementing services, connectivity, analytics, all these things. And I'll give you one other example. I'm a German, sorry for that. I'm coming from the automotive industry. Germans, they like cars. And everybody's talking about the connected car. If you think about this, for example, BMW, everybody's knowing BMW, they've changed their mindset. They're thinking about how to connect cars, the connected car story, everybody has heard about it. They've bought round about 500 developers for Nokia, only for connected cars. 500 developers who are only developing things in the space of IoT and analytics, all these things for a connected car. I'm not talking about the chassis and other things. I'm talking about connectivity in a car. E-call, we are talking about maintenance, we are talking about hotspot. Why hotspot in a car is clear, because the kids in the back have to be quiet. So, IoT in reality, coming back to, I've seen it also in the morning, that's really, I like this, coming back to basics. If you're talking about analytics and all these things, there are two main points. There will come a third one, I'm sure. No, it's already happened. First one, customer experience. Why a customer should buy and use IoT and analytics. You can ask thousands of people, you also can ask your family, best friends, are they willing to pay for this service? And if you're looking to the enterprise sector, I'm more in the enterprise sector, it's most of the time savings. How I can save money, efficiency and savings. The second wave, which is coming, adding new services to be better than your competitors. But that's normally the second wave. The first wave is coming more or less really from the saving side. And this year, I've seen first time in my life, normally I'm telling about fun, but if you're looking to the next slide, it's a Pokemon effect. If you're talking about the Internet of Things and analytics, how to use it, it's not only the saving and the making money, there's the third part, it's fun. I cannot explain why people are using Pokemon, but they're using it. And I'm sure in the future we will also see all these services in smart cities, not as Pokemon, but as guidance to have a look to cities and all these things. It will come. But it shows never forget the fun factor. The fun factor also regarding the IoT and the analytic part. So coming back to the return on investment, this was also discussed in the morning. Return on investment is a simple example, but I like it. Many years before, I've worked for a smaller company, and we were in touch with Kuhn Minolta, it's one of the printer, the copy machines printer manufacturer, and they asked us, so we want to connect all these machines. So because we cannot use the local network of the customer, we want to use it for remote management, for read out the counter, because we are paying in a monthly fee how many copies you have done, pay as you use. So we have done this. We have done this in a simple way, really connecting with the small devices in 24 countries worldwide, 250,000 copy machines in 2 years. It has worked. It is working, so it's really cool. So and then it's the reason why I like this one. Then they talked about any additional services as an enterprise service. First is really read out the counter. It's a simple service. The second one was what's happened with the consumption of the color patterns, of the paper. So now all the machines are full connected. That means if I'm going to the copy machines, it's Murphy all the time. But when I want to make a copy, the problem is color is empty or something, papers, something like this. In this case, the copy machines were telling, so the color will be empty, for example, is now down to 20% and will be empty in 2 days. I will full automatically order the next color patterns and paper. So that means before it will be empty on Friday evening, Friday morning, best case, the new color is coming. Also a simple service. And now I'm coming to this example. Then we thought about which additional services we can add for this customer. And then we talked about maintenance. The problem most of the time is there's a service contract. They signed a service contract, and the service, the maintenance, the field service will be in front of the machine once a week, twice a week, once a month, depending on the contract. They will be there, and if nothing to do, they will be there because they have to be there. So, and if there's something they have to change, it could happen. This is the classic maintenance. I'm there. One of the spare parts I'm missing. I have to go back, and I'm coming again, and so on. So that means they're spending more or less a full day to maintain 1 or 2 machines. So, and in this case, we have changed it. That means the machine is telling the service maintenance, the people, the field service, so you, first when they have to come in 2 weeks, which spare parts they need or not need or what they have to do so that they are full equipped when they are coming to the machine and maintain the machine. And this is a clear return on investment. There's another good thing, I believe, if you're thinking about this, you're starting a journey with a customer. If you're talking about analytics and all these things, my experience is start simple. Show the customer simple services and start a journey. Show them what is the vision in the next 2 or 3 years, but start with simple things. If you start with the full picture implementation, it will be a never-ending story. So last but not least, this example, I like it. You also can copy and paste. It's a good example for copy machines to the consumer part. In the consumer part, simple analytic tools. I'm a fan of Nespresso coffee machines. Nespresso coffee machines now are also connecting Nespresso coffee machines remote. That means you will get an Nespresso coffee machine more or less for free, but you have to sign a contract that the caps You have to buy from them. So they will deliver full automatically. That means you will get the first 100 taps. 50 will be black, 50 will be red. First, you drink the red one because you like the red one a little bit more than the black one. So then the black one. So, and if you have ordered a premium service, when you are down to 10, somebody is knocking on your door, and if you have ordered the premium service, it will be George Clooney who are delivering the next 100. Without a premium service, you will get a simple service. But you know the customer experience. For example, they are changing then also the mix. I've seen you like more the red one than the black one. I've added additional new services, new tabs, they taste in a different way. All these things you can do because you are much more in touch with the customer. So I believe the India market, it's clear. It's only the one slide. That's the reason why I also believe in the India market. It's a huge, huge market here. There are two emergency markets for the IoT part. One is the China market and the India market. Because it's unbelievable. It's unlimited the application you can implement here. It's a huge market, and you can see here a little bit what's first, what's second, what's third. Talking about the Internet of Things, digital innovation, people talk, it is coming or it's not coming. I believe it is here, already here. You will see it in the next slide. Only a few examples. We can talk a lot about segmentation. I will not talk about smart meter, energy, all these things you can see. Here's an elevator and all these things. I want one part, this is the reason why the drone is in the middle of the picture. There's another one I want to talk about. The drone. A few years before, nobody has used drones. In the US market, drones, AT&T is expecting roundabout to deliver, only AT&T, roundabout 7.5 million drone services in the next 3 up to 4 years. Another example about IoT and connecting data points. AT&T has sold in the last quarter more IoT devices than smartphones. That shows the exploding area of data points, which is so important for the analytic part for the future. So, and then you find, I like this example, the connected cow. People thinking about the IoT machines, how to optimize machines. Open your mindset. Internet of Things, analytic means also we need Internet of Brains, people who are open the mindset. One example in this case, we have, and when I worked for Deutsche Telekom, we have connected cows. Why? Cows has to produce as many calves in their lifetime and as much milk as possible. So it's a real case, that's not a joke. So what we have done, we have connected the cow to measure the temperature when is the right point to get predictive. So it's directly connected to the animal doctor, and he will go there when the temperature is right, and he will make, not he, but it will happen that the cow will be predictive. So this is the first step. The second step is when the calf will be born, round about 4 hours before the cow is shaking with the head. They will have a sensor around the head a few days before, so that the animal doctor can see, okay, now it will happen the next 4 hours. So he will be there and support the cow so that the cow will be born best. And the result, coming back to return on investment, in this case, for example, is the quantity of calves which will be born in the lifetime of a cow is increasing more than 10%. And this is a clear return on investment. It shows me, and you can talk a lot about cows or beans or whatever will be connected. Open your mindset. Open your mindset. Think about whatever data points you can connect and how you can add new services on top. So this is the space of the Internet of Things. Digital transformation will change our life. I believe this is already clear, but also changing the business models. We talked about, we have seen it before. I believe that's not the reason why it's not necessary to talk a lot about this. Examples are, you can see it here, disruptive business models. Think also like Uber has done it. One part is technology. Technology is enabling the function or the service of Uber. But at the end, what they have done, they've stepped between the cash flow of the driver and the customer. Now the cash flow is normally passing Uber, and they have done this with the technology in the back. Technology is only enabling these things. But all these companies, more or less like Uber's, everybody's knowing, have no own cars, but the most famous taxi organization worldwide. It's the same with Netflix, for cinemas and all of them. Good. I've also seen whatever we are doing, if you're talking to customer about implementing analytics, implementing all these services for the futures, select the right organization. Normally people like to go to the procurement and asking, so I want to place my analytic tool, my platform or whatever, forget it. Ask the people who have the clear demand. And you have to change also the mindset and the organization itself. If you want to make a customer digital, you have to really first talk to the CIO, the mindset of the CIO. And I like this slide also because IT philosophy is by a traditional person, no, everybody knows it. If you go to your IT department, they are telling you, never, never, forget it. We have never done it the last 10 years. Why we should do it? No, it makes no sense. You have to implement, if you are the owner of a company, for example, a person who's saying in principle, yes, yes to all this digital transformation. Without this, you will run against walls. It is unbelievable. I've learned a lot the last 10 years regarding this point. So, jobs, for me, IoT, the Internet of Things, the analytics is a job machine. We will create jobs we have never seen. We are talking about scientists, about what one part was here, cloud broker, data broker, all these things will happen. And that's the reason why we need the young people on board. The young people who are also, and this is a part I've seen really, I was really impressed by activities I've seen here in India. How many startups? I'm also in touch or in discussion with many universities, have speaker slots in front of the young students. They like it. They like it to change the world, to change themselves, and all these things, and new jobs will become. It will kill other jobs, but that's life. We have seen it in the industrial automation many years before. It will be more and more automatic, and it will kill jobs, but it will create also new jobs. And the new jobs will save our future. And I believe India is really on the best way to do this. I've learned a lot the last month. So what do we need for IoT, for the Internet of Things? In principle, we have to focus whatever we are doing. People, there's also one circle, you have hundreds of different segments. Start with 1, 2, or 3, more than enough. For me, for example, people ask me, oh no, you have so many international experience. When you expand your India business outside to India, why? That makes no sense. 1/6 of the world population is living here. It makes much more sense to have a marketplace so that the international players can step into the India market and support us so that we get more knowledge in our country, here in India. This is the key. So, pattern, we have to learn about pattern. I've explained the example from the copy machines to the Nespresso machine. The pattern behind, the technology behind is the same, important. Blueprint architecture, nobody's knowing what's going on in the next 5, 10 years. Whatever you're doing, thinking in horizontal layer, thinking in vertical layer, as open as possible, APIs between these things so that you can change things. Never create silos. A thing I've also learned I never would do again. Core strengths, for us, for example, as Reliance, we are thinking more on horizontal layers. The vertical part is much more coming from partners. It's also interesting, if you're talking about partners, normally in the IoT, in the space of IoTs, there are big tankers like us. We are a huge company. I've learned the same in Deutsche Telekom. And there are all these small, really agile speedboats around, these startups with 10, 20, 30 employees. And we have to learn how to combine the big tanker with these speed ups. Because if these speeds up and this, not slow, but it's a different profile of this tanker, if you want to combine it and you eat it, it will be never agile in any form. The innovation will go away. It's much more you have to talk on the same level and the partnering, because I believe all the innovation are coming from the partners, most of the innovation. We have to combine the trust, the channels, the financial strengths with the innovation which are coming from outside. So then we're talking about the analytic. I'm sure it's coming. If you're in the US, you can see everybody's only talking about how to monetize data or how to monetize data. That's the only part they are discussing. I believe it's a mix of it. We have to collect the data in a secure way, and then we have to think here also how to monetize and how to add additional services. But again, think more in a horizontal layer than in a vertical layer. Talking about smart cities, for example, in smart cities, people like to create analytics per silo. I believe that's the wrong way. You can do it in a simple way, that's fine, but you have to clap the vertical in a horizontal layer so that all the structured and unstructured data you can combine and add new services on top. I believe here we have to learn a little bit more how to do it in the right form. Another part is if you're talking about the data and the 50 billion connected devices, it could be 20 billion, whatever. If you're talking about this and I'm the owner of a mobile network, and I'm thinking, that means in 5 years I will have more connected devices for IoT than smartphones in my network. And each midnight they will send me a keep alive signal. My network will be dead. It's the same as with all the data which is flowing from the machine, whatever is the machine, could be a cow, could be a car, to the data center. You have to learn that the devices at the edge will be more intelligent, more autonomic. It's a must. If not, we never can offer any enterprise services in the future because we have to offer a quality of service. We have to sign to the customer also a service level agreement. That's not a smartphone. A smartphone, if it doesn't work the next 20 minutes, you will survive. For the copy machines like Kunica Minolta, if they cannot collect the data, they cannot send a bill. It's so important for them that it works. That's the reason for the future. We have to think much more how the data, the business modeling, and the analytics will be also more on the edge side. It's a must. Good. What the value creation is clear. Talking about the IoT, we are talking about the analytics, big data, and real time. If you're talking about autonomic driving and other things, it will be more and more near to real time. That means we need really a high professional high quality network in the bed. It could be a mobile network, that could be low power, that could be near field, whatever. It has to work best in class. So why I believe India? I've traveled a lot around the world the last 10 years. What I've seen, most of them are thinking more in parts. What I've learned here, this is my impression after a few months now, you have an excellent triangle between the industries, government, and coming back to the innovators, the startups. Driven by the government, you have really strong programs started. Okay, partly they're a little bit struggling, but the way, what I've learned the last month, unbelievable. I've never seen something like this around the world. I'm so impressed, and you have to be proud and going ahead. There are a few things you have to, might feel, change a little bit, but in principle, this triangle is the right way to go ahead. It's absolutely the right way. So, elements where I believe you already have, it's existing, it's a huge market. Everybody from the world is knocking on my door, and all the automotive, all the OEMs, all they're looking for two markets. It's China, it's India. They want to step into this market. They want to offer their services to this market. And you can learn from them. That's the last part here, experience. Let them step in. Learn from all these partners so that in the next wave you can do it much more by yourself. Combine your knowledge with the knowledge of partners